It's been nearly a week since Tropical Storm Isaias left its mark here in the state. And with folks closing in on nearly day 8 of no power, Southbury residents are looking for answers.
There's no other option, quite frankly.
Jim Hunsicker and his family lost power during last Tuesday's storm and relocated to a hotel almost immediately.
I've spent about $2,000 between travel, food, hotel bills to accommodate my family during this time when Eversource can't provide electricity for my home. We live in a well, septic, so no water, no sewer, no AC, no food preservation. So we've had to come here to get by.
Factoring in no cable or internet, making it impossible to work from home during the pandemic. Plus, no AC, the heat and the humidity becoming a concern as well.
The heat's not fun. We've lived in the South. This is pretty unbearable when it gets pretty hot and humid. But these last couple of days where it's exceedingly hot, it's just difficult.
Also, having to throw out food that went bad in addition to other expenses, the bills are piling up.
So pretty much you're on your own for these expenses. Eversource pretty much, they read you a whole list of things that they won't cover, and this is one of those things that they don't cover. So their failure to be able to provide electricity for a consumer, one of their customers, is not covered unless it's damage to your home. There's no damage to our home, just power is out to our street.
Attributing a lot of the frustration to a lack of transparency.
I wouldn't have expected this to take 7 days. Clearly the organizations aren't prepared. Their communication is horrible. Their app has been horrible. There's a lot of miscommunication. With
more 90-degree temperatures on the way with higher humidity levels, folks are hoping that they can restore power soon. In Southbury, I'm meteorologist Rachel Piscatelli, Fox 61 News.